it was difficult for me to take sides. I obviously know Kevin Durant should have the ball in his hands. He's one of the most prolific scorers we have ever seen in NBA history. That man should have the ball in his hands. But the Golden State Warriors have utilized Draymond Green as a playmaker at the forward spot throughout his career. So I would have been far more adamant against Draymond had they gotten the ball past half court and he didn't find Kevin Durant. But Kevin Durant was slapping for the ball right under the opposing team's basket. So I didn't take it with the degree of seriousness that everybody else might have had. But if I had to take a side, obviously it would be on Kevin Durant's side because he's one of the greatest scorers we've ever seen. There's 6 seconds left. He can push the ball up the floor himself and pull up from 30. You make sure that man has the basketball. It's just that simple. With that being said, the other side I take from this is the Clippers. Max Kellerman, I'm going to say this on national television. This kid, Montrezl Harrell, out of Louisville, that comes off the bench for the Los Angeles Clippers, that had 23 points and 8 rebounds last night, this kid is the closest thing to Dennis Rodman in today's NBA. This brother is energy personified. He's hardcore. I love him. And I can't say enough about how much I love Lou Williams coming off the bench. He only shot 5 of 18 last night, but came on when it counted. This kid, Lou Williams, the Clippers should be cited for theft. Because this guy getting paid 3 years, $24 million, just $8 million a year in today's NBA economy. This dude is the microwave. He's the modern day microwave, Vinnie Johnson, coming off the bench for a team. The Clippers with those two guys coming off the bench, I can't say enough about it, Max. I can't say enough about the job Doc Rivers is doing thus far with these Clippers. But getting back to Kevin Durant and Draymond, if I had to take a side, it would be Kevin Durant. But it wasn't that big of a deal to me.
Couple of things before I even get to my main point I want to respond to that you just said. Lou Williams has been underpaid his whole career. Lou Williams is just a good player. He's a good player.
Damn good.
Lou Williams is good.
Damn good.
And his last contract was for like 7 or 8 a year, which by NBA standards he remains a steal. Okay. You get the feeling Doc Rivers prefers coaching a team like this with a little less talent, but they play hard and play for each other and everything? Because I do. And I don't think it's coincidence. Look, Jerry West is either the luckiest guy in the world or he brings something to an organization, something to a franchise. I mean, look at the track record. L.A., Memphis, back to L.A., goes to the Warriors, goes to the Clippers. Wherever he goes, a culture of success follows. It's not just the transactions he makes or the advice he gives. His presence in an organization has some kind of effect. I know correlation does not equal causation, but my God, when it happens time and time and time again. Let me get to the point here. It's interesting you bring up Dennis Rodman because the star in the NBA today who most closely resembles Rodman in terms of his position on a team, in other words, how good is he? Is he the best, second best, third best player on a team? And his kind of craziness is Draymond Green. Draymond Green's not as crazy as Rodman, but he's more important even to his team, I think, than Rodman was to his. And that's saying a whole lot. Dennis Rodman was an all-time great player. The Warriors are an interesting team in that it's Steph's team. He's the engine that makes it go and their most important player. But the best player on the team is KD. But the heart and soul of the team, who's kind of the second most important player after Steph, the guy who gives them their identity, is Draymond. So you have a situation where it's not so cut and dried. There's a top dog and everyone else gets in line. One of the reasons, and there are several, that they are such an all-time great team and their status is so much above the rest of the NBA's is because they have so many great players. And the one guy who kind of gets in where he fits in among the great players on the team is Clay. But otherwise, Andre Iguodala has a strong personality. And although he's declined just from age, he's a presence. Draymond Green has a very strong personality. As I said, he's the heart and soul. KD is the best player. With Steph not there, whose team is it, right? So a situation like this where two teammates are publicly jawing at each other in this situation is not an unhealthy thing. It's not an embarrassing thing. It's not a dysfunctional thing.
Yeah, but who do you think was right? But who do you think was right?
I think they both have points of view. I understand it. I would say that ultimately I agree with you, Stephen A. Game on the line, no Steph Curry, KD's the guy.